Very good point, Danny. Very good point.
So we'll see. We'll see if Magnus can wiggle his way out of it, but I want to back
file. And first, Pragg actually traded off on f6. Maybe he didn't need to rush. Maybe this is what gave Magnus a small opportunity.
b6 at the end of the line, but I would imagine if everything just starts being traded here, that somehow that's okay for Magnus.
For example, in a position like dive, all of
what we were foreshadowing as a beast of a knight in the middle of the board versus a bad bishop. And the other thing just to note that's just obvious but important to point out, Magnus has gotten rid of the bishop that would have been the bad bishop on the dark squares, right? So now, no matter what happens, whether he takes c4, I just want to point this out, or even if he castles, a big difference from the perspective that when the knight does come to d5, black now has a bishop that can still take it.
Yes.
We were looking at lines where that bishop, the bishop was a dark squared one, and so it was...
And just jump
Check
in.
and get into e7.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Even more efficient. The position is completely falling apart at the seams. And look at that game graph. That is a dominating performance start to finish. We call that a wire-to-wire victory. And again, yeah, full kudos and shout out to Pragg. I mean, anyone who saw the beginning of the show, I thought that Magnus's approach was kind of brilliant. As someone who's been in a spot where an experienced player just out transpositions you end up overthinking things and getting yourself in trouble. Pragg was using a ton of time on the clock, clearly looked uncomfortable. I think Magnus even had said himself in his first confessional visit that he kind of liked what he had gotten out of the opening, but he also acknowledged it was a provocative choice. It was an edgy...
The move of the day, by the way. King to h2. Move of the day. That would be my candidate.
Move of the day. He's 18. By the way, didn't Gukesh turn 18 like today? Today. So a couple
Happy birthday.
Some 18-year-olds out there. Happy birthday to Gukesh, perhaps from your countryman Praggnanandhaa, getting a dub for you.
What a present. What a present to India as well.
What a present to India, a present for Gukesh. Pragg is on the verge of delivering, beating the tournament leader, and I don't think Magnus Carlsen has much more in the tank here.
Our other threat, our other attempt was queen b3.
Queen to b3. And there's no rook takes g2. That was my first thought. Is there a sacrifice by the rook and some sort of renegade perpetual check by Magnus? But I don't think so.
Pragg is about to play queen to b3.
Yep.
Yeah, and queen b3 has another idea as well. If, for example, black blocks with d5, then you give the check. And if king g7, then you slide the white queen across to g3.
Oh, nice.
So there's actually...
Very, very pretty that the g5 will be then crucial. Queen to g3, picking up the rook on g8. This is, I think, just the last attempt by Magnus Carlsen, whether Pragg will play the winning move, and he does. Queen to b3, threatening checkmate on f7, and there is no defense for the world number one. This is it. Game over. I think he might play one move more, perhaps, or not even. What do you think, David? d5 and then see what happens, and then resign.
b6 is met by queen to b7, because then there will be no more rook sacrifices on g2, and there you go. Magnus Carlsen has resigned. Praggnanandhaa has beaten the world number one, the former world champion, but greatest player of all time, arguably, Praggnanandhaa. The future is bright, and currently the stars are shining here in Norway. The youngest player in the field gets it done, beats the tournament leader. They're discussing something about